Is there a limit to God? Guru Nanak Dev Ji, as the Guru of the Sikh, they are the physical form of Brahm, they are the physical form of Paramatma. If God would know their own limit, since everyone says that God is limitless, would Guru Nanak Dev Ji know their own limit? And of course they would. Did they tell anyone about it? So Guru Arjan Dev Ji then say, if there's an end to Brahm, then someone can speak about it, right? If you look at infinity, how do you define infinity? There's no end to it. It's endless. It's limitless. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji says that Guru Nanak Dev Ji, being the Brahm Swarup, being the physical form of God, is also endless and limitless. So as a Sikh, you should accept this truth and focus your dhyan, your consciousness towards Brahm and meditate on it. WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Sikhandi Bhagat Mala. And in this episode, we're going to be discussing about the Sikh of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, as mentioned by Bhai Gurdas Ji in their Var 11, and retold by Shahid Bhai Mani Singh Ji when the Sakhi were told by Guru Gobind Singh Ji. Bhai Mani Singh Ji has written them down in their book called Sikhandi Bhagat Mala. So we are now in Pauri 19, so this is almost midway now of Sikhandi Bhagat Mala. So there are 5 Sakhiyan, 5 stories in this Pauri, and it's very interesting because they're very high level intellectual questions about God, about Shabad, about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, about our karmic accounts when we die, you know, how does our good and bad karam gets counted and so on. So let's get straight into it. Pauri 19, Panjvi Padshahid de Hor Sikhan de Naam. So other Sikhs of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. So the first Sakhi is there a limit to God? So the Pankti goes, Gangu now Sahgala Rama Tarma Udda Pai. So there's 5 Gur Sikhs here by the name of Pai Gangu, Pai Nao Sahgal, Pai Rama, Pai Tarma and Pai Uda. And they came to meet Guru Arjan Dev Ji and they asked Guru Sahib ki, you know, we have read that in the Vedas, in the Kitabs, which means in the Sanatan Dharam, the Hinduism, and also in Islamic Dharam, that the avatars that have come in this religion, you know, they said that Brahm, which is who we call Paramatma, Brahm is limitless. God has no limit. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, as the Guru of the Sikh, they are the physical form of Brahm, they are the physical form of Paramatma. So, being the physical form of Paramatma, Guru Nanak Dev Ji would know their own limit, which means where do they end, or when is the end of their life, or what is their limit to their powers, and so on, right? So, the Sikh are asking Guru Arjan Dev Ji ki, if God would know their own limit, since everyone says that God is limitless, would Guru Nanak Dev Ji know their own limit? And of course they would. Did they tell anyone about it, about their own limit and so on? So Guru Arjan Dev Ji then say that if there's an end to Brahm, if there's a limit, you know, or an end time, a period to God, then someone can speak about it, right? To call something endless is knowing its limit, which means if you look at infinity, how do you define infinity? There's no end to it, right? It's endless, it's limitless. There's no definite number to it. So to know that it's endless is to know its limit, which means that we can't really comprehend this. So to say that Brahm, God, has an end or limit is going against the words of the scriptures of the Vedas or Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Right? Because even in Japsa, Guru Gobind Singh Ji says, Net banatran kahat, that even the trees, the blade of grass, they say, Net, na iti, not even this, you're more than this, right? So Guru Arjan Dev Ji says that Guru Nanak Dev Ji, being the Brahm Swarup, being the physical form of God, is also endless and limitless. So as a Sikh, you should accept this truth and focus your dhyan, your consciousness towards Brahm and meditate on it. So always do jap, simran, meditate on WhyGuru's Naam, and this is how you will attain mukti, liberation, and become one with the Creator who is limitless, who is endless. So the next Sakhi is the following Sikh, they're asking, who is Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Guru? Which is something that we have thought about as well. So the Pankti is Jattu Pattu Vetya Firna Sood Vada Satpai Polu Pattu Janiyan Sanmukha Tewari Sukhadai. So there are few good Sikhs here mentioned. Pai Jattu Ji, Pai Pattu Ji, Pai Pirana Suda, Pai Polu, Pai Pattu Tewari. So these 5 Guru Sikhs, they came to meet Guru Arjan Dev Ji and they said, hey Sache Pacha, Garib Niwaj, we have just returned from the yatra at the Ganga. So they went to Ganga, they did their yatra and went to visit the place there. The Pandits there, they asked us a question. They said, all the avatars who have taken physical form. So when we talk about avatar, it means the incarnation or the physical form of God. So we talk about like Ram, we talk about Krishna, we talk about all these different avatars, incarnations who have come into this world. They have taken a physical form. And all of them have taken on a guru, which means that they have gotten a mantra from a guru, they've gotten teachings from their guru, they practice it, and then eventually they also attain the same avastha or state of mind, mukti. So the Sikh are asking, the Sikh told Guru Arjan Dev Ji that the Pandit asked us as well. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is also an avatar. So Sangat Ji, there are 6 types of avatar, and this is something that we can find in the Granth as well, but very briefly. So if you have Ansa avatar, we have Kala avatar, we have Puran avatar. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji is Puran avatar, like they're complete. They've got all the same powers and strength and qualities of Paramatma, right? So the Pandit are asking the Sikh ki if Guru Nanak Dev Ji is also an avatar of Paramatma, the physical form of God, then who is Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Guru, from whom they have received a mantra, a teaching or something that have brought them on this path? So the Sikh then said, well, we will get an answer from Guru Arjan Dev Ji and we'll come back to you. So the Sikh then asked Guru Arjan Dev Ji these things, and Guru Sahib then replies कि Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Guru is Aap Paramatma, the formless one. So now in Sikhi there's a few terms here. So we speak about Sargun Paramatma and Nirgun Paramatma. So Sargun Paramatma is basically the Paramatma or God that has taken physical form and came into this world. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Angad Dev Ji, all this our Guru Sahiban. So they are Sargun, which means we can talk about their qualities, we can interact with them, we can see them, we can talk to them and so on. Then the other form is Nirgun Paramatma, the one that is formless. So how do you describe something that is formless? How do you interact or connect with something that is formless? That's when Sargun Sarup is very important. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, Guru Nanak Dev Ji being the Sargun Paramatma, their Guru is Nirgun Paramatma, the Antarjami Nirankar. So the Paramatma, God, who is all-knowing and is everywhere, right? So Guru Nanak Dev Ji have all the same powers and attributes of God, and they took physical form. And when they took physical form, so Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Jivani, we knew, they gave us the Mool Mantra, they gave us the WhyGuru Mantra, they wrote Japji Sahib, all this Bani they have written. Then a time came when Pai Lehna Ji came into their life, and Pai Lehna Ji did their seva, served them. And this moment in history happened when Guru Nanak Dev Ji passed on the light, the jyot of Gurgaddi, of the Guruship, the light of Guruship, to Guru Angad Dev Ji. And what did Guru Nanak Dev Ji do at that point, which is something that we often just overlook? Guru Nanak Dev Ji made Guru Angad Dev Ji sit on a takhat and made them the Guru, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji bowed down to Guru Angad Dev Ji. So which means now Guru Nanak Dev Ji is bowing down to the Sargun Sarup of Paramatma as well, being Paramatma Sarup themselves. So the Sikh then said, so that person is called a Guru by meeting that Guru, the darkness. So if we split up the word Guru, what does Guru actually mean? Gu means the darkness of ignorance. Now you close your eyes. Akkha band karke, and I ask you to roam around this. I put you in a new room and I want you to roam around the room, find your way out. Now your eyes are closed, you have never been there, you don't even know how to navigate yourself. So what's going to happen? You will hurt yourself, you might fall down and this and that. So Gu is the darkness of ignorance. Ignorance of, we don't even know who we are, what are we doing in this world. And then Ru. Ru means the Prakash, the light of wisdom. So now a Gursikh comes in. Guru comes in and takes off the blind of our eyes, or switches on the light, or gives us the guidance. Okay, now turn to your left. Okay, take 3 steps towards your left, and so on, this and that. So Guru guides us and helps us to come out from this Kaljuk, from this worldly ocean. Hana? So Gu, from darkness to Ru, to light of wisdom. So the Sikh are saying that person is called the Guru. By meeting them, the darkness of ignorance is gone and the light of wisdom is obtained. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji was the form of Prakash themselves. They were Paramatma themselves. Then why did they bow down to Guru Angad Dev Ji? Does this mean that Guru Nanak Dev Ji took Guru Angad Dev Ji as their Guru and got teachings from them to dispel their darkness of ignorance? So they are trying to ask this question, which even us at this point we are asking as well. Like Guru Nanak Dev Ji were God themselves. Why did they bow down to Guru Angad Dev Ji? What does it mean, right? If God is perfect, right, why do they need to bow down to anyone else? So now Guru Arjan Dev Ji is giving a very perfect example. Why Guru Nanak Dev Ji bowed to Guru Angad Dev Ji and accepted them as the Guru, while being a Guru and the perfect form of Paramatma themselves. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji said, when Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva was created, so we have Ek Oankar. So if you look at Oankar, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva was created. Who did they take on as their Guru? So the Sikh replied, well, of course in history everybody knew. So the Sikhs replied, they said, Brahma took Vishnu as his Guru. Shiva also took Vishnu as his Guru. So Brahma and Shiva now has Guru, which is Vishnu. Vishnu's Guru is Shiva. So Vishnu took Shiva as his Guru. Was Vishnu already the form of Gyan in the very beginning? That's why Brahma and Shiva took Vishnu as their Guru? Or did Vishnu obtain Gyan only after meditating on his Guru, which is Shiva? So this was a question Guru Sahib asked the Sikh. So let me repeat again. The 3, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Brahma and Shiva took Vishnu as their Guru, and Vishnu took Shiva as his Guru. Now, would you say that Vishnu obtained Gyan, obtained wisdom from after meditating on his Guru, which is Shiva, or was Vishnu already the form of Gyan, the form of wisdom in the first place, which is why Brahma and Shiva meditated on Vishnu and took him as their Guru? So the Sikh then said, well, Vishnu was already the form of Gyan. They were already wise themselves. They already had all the wisdom and knowledge within them, which is why Brahma and Shiva took them as their Guru. But based on the Maryada of the world, the Riti of the world is that everyone has to take on a Guru to accept the mantra, take on a mantra, take on a Guru, and the Guru will give the Sikhya, the teachings to their Sikha for the Sikha to follow. So because of the Maryada of the world physically taking on a Guru, Vishnu took Shiva as his Guru. So Guru Sahib then said, so Guru Arjan Dev Ji said, so this is how Guru Nanak Dev Ji is the very form of God, the physical form of God. But based on the Maryada of the body, how a person lives in this world, how does this world function, Guru Nanak Dev Ji bowed to Guru Angad Dev Ji and made Guru Angad Dev Ji their Guru when they passed on the Guruship to Guru Angad Dev Ji. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji in the first, that's why when we said when was the Guru Gaddi Dihara of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, there's none, because they were already Guru from the time they came into this world, because why? They are Paramatma Roop themselves. But because of the culture, the Maryada of the body and the Maryada of the world, of when we come into this world as a Sikh, we take on a Guru and follow the teachings of that Guru. Guru Nanak Dev Ji gave the Guru Gaddi to Guru Angad Dev Ji, passed on the light of Guruship, and they matha take and accepted Guru Angad Dev Ji as now the physical form of Paramatma, while being Paramatma Surup themselves as well. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji said to them, have faith in the Satguru, in true Guru, and you'll be liberated. So have faith in Guru Nanak Dev Ji, then Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Guru is our Paramatma, is Nirankar Paramatma themselves. Then when the Guru Gaddi passed on to Guru Angad Dev Ji, they bowed down to Guru Angad Dev Ji. So the third Sakhi here now, the next few Guru Sikhs, they ask Guru Arjan Dev Ji, is there more than one God? Right? How many God are there? So the Pankti here is Dalla Pari Bhagat hai Japu Nivala Gur Saranai. So here is a Sakhi of 4 Guru Sikhs by the name of Pai Dalla Ji, Pai Pakirat Ji, Pai Jappu Ji and Pai Nivala Ji. So they came to meet Guru Arjan Dev Ji and they asked, was Guru Nanak Dev Ji a devotee of Nirgun Paramatma? Which means, did Guru Nanak Dev Ji meditate on the formless God, or did Guru Nanak Dev Ji meditate on a certain form of God, which is Sargun Paramatma, which we discussed earlier? So Guru Arjan Dev Ji then said, how can we say that there are 2 types of God, Nirgun and Sargun? Are we trying to say that there are 2 gods, and which one did Guru Nanak Dev Ji meditate on? So Guru Arjan Dev Ji said, we can call Paramatma, God, as formless and the one with form, if they were 2 gods. But there's only one God, there's only one Paramatma. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji then recited this slok from Sukhmani Sahib. Slok, Sargun Nirgun Nirankar Sun Samadhi Aap, Apan Kiya Nanaka Aape Hi Fir Jaap. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji says Sargun and Nirgun Nirankar Sun Samadhi Aap, that He is the one, God is the one who has all the qualities, and at the same time, He is also formless as well. You can't describe Him, you can't talk about His qualities as well. So, Appe Apa, He is within Himself. Apan Kiya Nanaka. So then through His own powers, the formless one created His own form. So Nirgun created Sargun. Sargun then Paramatma meditates on Nirgun, and Apan Kiya Nanaka, and that Nirgun Paramatma through its powers created the whole creation, this world, us humans, animals, everything. Aape Hi Fir Jaap, and then the same creation which is Paramatma Surup themselves, they are meditating on God themselves. So if we are looking at this cycle, Guru Arjan Dev Ji says Nirgun Paramatma and Sargun Paramatma, they are one. But one has no form and you can't describe it, one has form. So Nirgun Paramatma took form and became Sargun Paramatma. And Nirgun Paramatma then creates a whole creation from its own power. And Mara says, Apan Kiya Nanaka. And that creation, you, me, all this that we see are the form of God as well, because we have Paramatma Jyot in us. So what's happening is the whole creation, to be able to connect to Nirgun Paramatma, we must have a Sargun Sarup. So we have Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Angad Dev Ji, now we have Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So the world connects to Sargun Sarup. And when we connect to Sargun Sarup Paramatma, then Sargun Sarup Paramatma will guide us to becoming one with Nirgun Sarup, which is our aim. But if you see, it's all a circle. Nirgun, Sargun and the world and the creation. Paramatma and the whole creation. This trio here, this triangle that we see is just one. It's Nirgun Paramatma created itself, created the whole creation, and they're just meditating on each other. Right? So Apan Kiya Nanaka, Paramatma created everything. Aape Hi Fir Jaap, and then Paramatma themselves are meditating on themselves. Right? So there's a very high level intellectual like Brahm Gyan knowledge happening here. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji then continues to explain. The Nirgun Paramatma, the formless God, takes form, becomes Sargun and comes into this world. Why? When the world was crying out, right? Jado dunya dharti ro rahi thi, the world was crying out in pain because there's so much of paap, so much of sins happening in this world. So Sargun Paramatma, which means God, then that Nirgun Sarup, the formless one, takes form, come into this world and destroys the demons. So if we look at, for example, we have the avatars of Vishnu, also we have the Vishnus of avatar, like the Mach avatar, the Kach avatar, all these avatars who have come into this world. Why? To destroy the demons and bring balance back to this world. So these avatars, this Sargun Sarup Paramatma, they have no desire for themselves. They do not have any ichcha or wishes or desire or anything. They have come for a purpose, and that's it, right? To save the world and humanity. So Paramatma comes and goes on their own wish. We're talking about physical form. So just like a king is a king for a country, right? But all the subjects, they don't get to meet the king every day, or some people have not even seen their king in their whole life, maybe from afar or never seen it at all. Now we have technology. Well, in a way we are lucky, we get to interact and see what the king of the country is doing. So just like a king is still a king for a country, he comes, he gets ready, he wears the robe, the royal robe, and he goes to his court, the royal court, and he sits on his throne so he can meet his subject, address issues, and do his work as a king. But he is still a king when he leaves the court, removes the royal robe, goes to his chambers, his bedroom, and rests and sleeps. Doesn't mean that he's only a king when he's in the court and wearing the royal robe. He is a king all the time until the last days of his reign, right? So he is a king whether he is wearing the royal robe or not wearing the royal robe. Any subject who calls out to the king, whether they go to the court and then they make their plea, they ask for help, the king helps them. And when the king leaves the court, does it mean that the subjects doesn't get any help? Or they're not taken care of? No, the subjects of the country are still being taken care of, whether the king is in the court or he's in his bedroom. So the king in the court wearing his royal robe represents the Sargun Sarup Paramatma, the one the world can see, and he's there doing his duty, sitting on takhat. Then when the king goes to his chambers and rests and no one meets him, he is the Nirgun Sarup Paramatma, the one where nobody sees him, but he is still doing his job as a king. So this way, Guru Nanak Dev Ji is a devotee, is a Bhagat of Naam. So even in Siddh Gosti Bani, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, कि the question the Siddh asked was, Kaun Guru kiska tu chela? Then Guru Nanak Dev Ji answered, Shabad Guru Surt tun chela. Then my Guru is Shabad, and the Sikh is my Surti, my consciousness, is the Sikh, the Chela, the disciple of Shabad. So because of Naam, Nirgun and Sargun Paramatma are known to this world. And when we do bhakti of Naam, then we unlock the wisdom to realizing Nirgun Sarup and Sargun Sarup Paramatma and knowing that they are all one. There's no difference in the creation and the creator. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, in this case, the bhakti of Naam is higher than any other bhakti. So Guru Arjan Dev Ji then explains, why is Naam greater than doing worship of Sargun Paramatma? Naam is greater. Why? If you look at the Sakhi of Sri Ramchandra Ji, when they had to cross the ocean to go to Sri Lanka, Sri Ramchandra Ji had powers as well. They had 14 powers and qualities of Paramatma in them. They could have dried up the ocean. They could have miraculously built a bridge to cross the ocean. But why? Why did Ramchandra Ji specifically wrote Ram on the stones and asked the army to throw the stones in the ocean and form a bridge? Ramchandra Ji thought, how many people would benefit if I just dry up the ocean? It would just be for that moment. But then in the future, people hear this Sakhi, they would just say, oh yeah, God is miraculous. How many people would benefit if I just create a bridge? There's no effort put in. There's no, all this hard work put in to create that. So there will be no, in terms of appreciation. So Ramchandra Ji, by using Naam, if we use Naam and get everybody to do bhakti, many will be liberated and they will know ki Naam di vadiyai, right? So Naam ke tare sagle jantra, Naam ke tare khand brahmand, hai na? So Naam ke tare, it is because the asara of Naam, this whole world, this whole creation is still surviving. So Ramchandra Ji then showed that Naam is greater than just his physical form as the avatar of God. So what he did, he wrote Ram on the stones, and the stones were lined up until a bridge is formed. Okay, so Naam is also greater than, so now in this Sakhi of Ramchandra Ji, we know that Naam is greater than Sargun Paramatma. Second, Naam is also greater than Nirgun Paramatma. How? Now Nirgun Paramatma we can't see or feel or interact with the formless God. But there's three qualities of Nirgun Paramatma. Sata Chitta Ananda. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji says as well, Sada Satchidananda Sarvang Paranasi. So which means that the same three qualities of truth, of consciousness and of bliss is within me as well. But without the recitation of Naam, my antekaran, which means the components of the mind, which is my mind, my thought process, my intellect, and then my memory, my consciousness, and my ego state, which makes me act it out. These antekaran, these components of the mind will never become clean or purified if I don't use the soap of Naam. Right? So even in Japji Sai Maharaj says as well, Moot paliti kappad hoye, de sabun laye oh toy. Pare mat papa ke sang, oh to pe nave ke rang. So if our mat, our intellect is dirty, right? And how can we wash it? How do we purify it? With Naam, with the soap of Naam. So without recitation of Naam, the antekaran, the instruments of the mind, the components of the mind cannot be purified. And without purifying the mind, we cannot experience Nirgun Paramatma. And if we haven't experienced the formless Paramatma or become one with them, then we are bound to go to hell and the cycle of life and death again and again and again. So those who have recited Naam, their antekaran have become purified and they have obtained divine wisdom and their cycle of life and death is destroyed. Which is why Naam is greater than the physical form of Paramatma and the formless one as well. Only through Naam can we understand Shabad, can we interact with Sargun Paramatma and experience Nirgun Paramatma and become one with God. So now the Sikha are asking another question, and this is very interesting because they are trying to basically, we call the devil's advocate. So they're trying to ask this question because why in the future people are going to end up asking this. So the Sikh asked, Hey Sache Pacha, Hanuman, who is a Bhagat of Ramchandra Ji, he became big and he crossed the ocean by flying to Sri Lanka. He didn't use the bridge. So how would you explain this about the greatness of Naam if Ramchandra Ji's Bhagat didn't use that bridge of Naam? So Guru Arjan Dev Ji then says, Hanuman was a Bhagat of Ramchandra Ji and he recited Naam, which is Ram. He used Ram as his mantra and he recited, he worshipped it and meditated on Naam. He had the power of Naam within him already. So with the power of Naam, he was able to carry the mountain. With the power of Naam, he became big and he crossed the ocean. So this is why Naam is greatest of all. So secondly, this Sakhi of Hanuman becoming big and crossing the ocean rather than using the bridge, there's a metaphor behind it as well. This signifies that when you do Bhakti of Naam and you obtain Gyan, spiritual wisdom, one can cross this worldly ocean very, very easily. Now, only a few people have reached this stage of spiritual avastha where they can just, go fly over the worldly ocean and get to Sachkhand. But the bridge signifies that anybody, whether you can walk, you cannot walk, whether you're young, you're old, crippled, anybody who is not strong enough or not capable enough, I'm talking about like, example was the physical strength, but here we're talking about mental strength as well. Emotionally, spiritually, if we're not strong enough, we have not done enough bhakti, we can still cross the worldly ocean. So Guru Sahib says that the bridge is there as well, for those who are taking slow steps. Sometimes they don't have enough time to do bhakti, but they're trying their best to do bhakti of Naam. And Hanuman flying is representing those who have already reached there. It's very easy for them. So Maharaj says nothing is impossible. There are very few in this world who have forsaken or let go of the pleasure of senses and focus on attaining spiritual wisdom. So through prema bhakti, through loving devotion, both sinners and both saints are saved. So saints, they just fly, over the ocean and they get to Sachkhand. But sinners like me, we have to put in so much of effort and we use the bridge. Every step, we are stepping on the stone of Naam, we are stepping on it and getting the asra, the support of Naam to bring us across this worldly ocean. So Maharaj says you should meditate on Naam as well. Come into Sangat of saints to get that inspiration, learn about Nirgun Paramatma and experience God through the power of Naam. So the next Sakhi, the topic is, do my good karam and bad karam cancel each other out when I kind of have to pay for my karam after I leave this world? So the Pankti of the Pauri is Mulla Suja Tavne Chandu Chaujada Sevakamai Ramdas Pandariya Bala Sai Dasati Ai. So basically these few Guru Sikhs here, Pai Mullaji, Pai Suja, Pai Chandu, Pai Ramdas, Pai Bala and Pai Sai Das, they came to meet Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And so they ask Guru Sahib, they say, when we come to this world, we create karam, good karam and bad karam, right? And we leave, we die, we leave this world, and we have to face Dharamraj to do our accounts of all the good karams we have done, the bad karams we have done in our life, and then it's decided what happens to us. So we know that since bad karam will result in pain, we have to pay for it and go through pain and suffering, and good deeds, good karam will result in happiness and good blessings for us. So now they're asking this like mathematical question. They said, if there are more good karam than bad karam that we have done in our life, do they cancel each other out? And then the final count, the karam is decided, which means, for example, if I have done 10 good deeds in my life, and I've done like 5 bad deeds in my life, do the 10 good deeds minus the 5, they cancel each other out, and the final count of my 5 good karam, do I have to, does that then becomes the final decision of what happens to me, which means 5 good karam, which means I will go to a good place, or do they not cancel each other out? How does it happen? Please explain to us how our karmic actions are accounted for. So Guru Sahib then said there are 4 types of Sikha. One is Sehkami, Nehkami, one is a devoted Sikha, and one is a wise Gyanwan Sikha. So then Guru Arjan Dev Ji asked, whose account are you asking for? Like which type of Sikha's account are you asking for? And the Sikha said, just tell us all of their types of Sikha and how their karmic accounts are being accounted for. So Guru Sahib says, so for example, the first one, Sehkami Sikha. Sehkami Sikha are those people who always indulge in lies and deceit. They keep fast, they go for pilgrimages, they serve people and do all these good deeds out of their selfish intention, which means, I want a new car or a good business, that's why I do charity, or I'm going to pilgrimage so I have a good health, or something like that. There's always an intention, sehkam, right? So Guru Arjan Dev Ji says Dharamraj always has his club, his danda over this type of people. So what happened? How is their karmic account, their karmic actions accounted for? They will receive their fruits of every sin and every good deed that they have done. So bad karam and good karam, they pay for each one of them. Both returns are received separately and they do not cancel each other out. So you have done 5 bad deeds, you pay for that 5 bad deeds. You have done 10 good deeds, you will get the blessings of those 10 good deeds. They don't cancel each other out. Second type of Sikha are those who do something good. They do something out of goodwill, and it gives them joy to actually do that good deed. So they don't have any intention why they do it. It's not for their selfish needs or something. So for these type of people, Guru Arjan Dev Ji says their accounts of good karam and bad karam are counted together. So if there are more good karam, it will supersede the bad karam and cancel them out. So for example, you have done 10 good deeds and 5 bad deeds, it will cancel the 5 bad deeds, and you will get the receive of the 5 good karam that you have done. So the Sikha will receive the fruits, the blessings of the balanced good karam that they have done. If there are more bad karams that this type of Sikha have done, then it will cancel out the good karam and they will receive the fruits of their sins that they have committed. But usually for Nehkami Sikha, who do something out of goodwill and they don't have selfish intentions, their good deeds are always much more compared to their bad deeds. So if they have committed any bad karam, it's always a good intention behind it, or they didn't know, they didn't do it purposely. So the third type of Sikha are the devoted Sikha, which means they do bhakti. And so the kind of Sikha who do bhakti, they never will do any bad deeds, or they will never sin or commit any bad actions with intention. They might commit a bad karam or do something bad unknowingly or out of accident, like for example, maybe walking and then they accidentally killed an animal, accidentally knocked into something or hurt someone without knowing or without any intention. So their sins or their bad karma in their accounts are always very small ones, right? And they're not major karams. They are very close to God, but here's the deal. Because they have done bhakti, they are very close to God, they don't do many bad deeds, or they don't have sins in their accounts. They still have to take birth and come into this world again for them to do bhakti and obtain gyan, which is the fourth type of Sikha. Only after obtaining gyan, spiritual wisdom, can their cycle of life and death be destroyed. Sehkam Sikha, Guru Arjan Dev Ji then continues, Sehkam Sikha will first enjoy the pleasures of heaven because they will pay for their good deeds and bad deeds separately. So they'll first enjoy the pleasures of the heaven because of their good deeds. Then they will be reborn again in the house of wealthy people so that they can find good Sangat and they can start collecting more good deeds. They can do good deeds, collect more good karam and start doing bhakti to obtain liberation. The Nehkami Sikha, because they already are doing very good deeds and there's not much sins in their account, they will be born in this house of saint and house of Guru Sikhs so they can start walking on the path of bhakti. So this is basically a progression. From Sehkami, you will become Nehkami, then you want to become a devoted Sikha, a bhakti wala Sikha, and finally a Gyanwan Sikha, someone who's already wise and become a Brahmgyani. The wise Sikha, the fourth type of Sikha, the Brahmgyanis, they have recognized that this body is false, which means the karmic accounts connected to this body is also false. Just like darkness never goes near the sun, so wherever there is light, there can never be darkness. Similarly, karam does not come near the Brahmgyani Sikha. So because they don't commit any karam, they will obtain liberation. So the Sikha then asks, well, where would these Brahmgyanis they go if they don't have good or bad deeds? Like they don't commit any karam, what happens to them? And how is it they can still live in this world? They are in the physical body, they are humans, they interact with the world. And how do they interact with the world but not commit any karam? How does this work? So Guru Sahib then says, whoever comes and serves the Brahmgyanis, the wise Sikha, when they serve the Brahmgyanis, the Guru Sikhs, the Mahapurkh, the saints, those who do their seva, they receive the good deeds of the saints. So the saints have done good deeds. Those accounts of good deeds will go to the sevadar, to those who serve the saints and the Brahmgyanis. And if people come and slander or gossip or do anything bad towards the saints, towards the wise Sikha, towards the Bhagat, what happened is all the bad karams or any sin or anything bad that might be in the account of the Brahmgyanis, of the Bhagats, of the wise Sikha, all that bad karmic account will go into the accounts of those who have slandered and gossiped the saints. So, to repeat again, so if there is any good or bad deeds that these saints have committed or they've said, whoever serves them, anyone who serves the saints, the good deeds of the saints will go to them. And anyone who slanders and gossips about the saint, then all the bad deeds or anything that the saint have done will go to the account of the people who slander and gossip them. So which means that the saint do not have any good karam or bad karam to pay for. And once you don't have any karam to pay for, then immediately you are on the path of liberation, you become liberated. Guru Sahib says, depending on which type of Sikha you want to be, like you are. If you're a Sehkami Sikha, you're going to pay for your good deeds separately and bad deeds separately. If you're someone who is Nehkami, which means you don't have any selfish intentions in anything you do, it's always for goodwill, it's always on the path of Dharam, then your good and bad karam will cancel each other out and you pay for the final balance of your karam. Those Bhakti wale Sikha, they do not have much sins in their account, they only have good deeds in their account, but they still have to come back into this world, but they'll be born in the house of saints or Guru Sikhs to become Brahmgyanis, to continue their bhakti and become Brahmgyanis. And those who are already Brahmgyanis, the fourth type of Sikha, the saints, they don't have any karmic account, so they go straight to Sachkhand, to Paramatma. So the last Sakhi is the last part of this body, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Sikha, called Pai Vishnu and Pai Sundarji. So the Pankti is Gurmukhi Vishnu Bibada, Machi Sundar Gurmat Pai, Sad Sangat Vadi Vadiai. So Pai Bishnu and Pai Sundar Ji, they came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji and asked, Ki Sache Pasha, please save us, like give us an upadesh that by us following we can be saved. So Guru Sahib said, Pai Sundar Ji, you should collect wood, collect the lakada and bring water to the Sat Sangat for the Sat Sangat so they can cook langar with the wood and the Sangat can drink the pani. Pai Bishnu Ji, you should warm the water that is brought by Pai Sundar Ji at midnight and help to bathe the Sangat. Do their seva, wash their clothes, clean their feet, wash their feet of the Sangat, and this is how both of you will obtain liberation by doing seva of the Sangat. So Sangaji, in this pauri we have spoken about 5 different Sakhiya. Number 1, is there a limit to God? Does God have a limit or not? And does Guru Nanak Dev Ji have their own Guru? Who is Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Guru? Then the third one, is there more than one God? We speak about the formless God, the form, the one with the form. How many types of God are there? And which one should we meditate on? We spoke about how Nam is actually more powerful to actually experience God. Then the fourth one is, how does my karmic accounts, my karmic deeds get accounted for? Like good deeds and bad deeds, 4 types of Sikha and how their karmic deeds get accounted for. Do they cancel each other out or do you pay for each karam that you have done? And the last one is doing seva of Sangat. So Sangatji, hope you learned a lot from this pauri. There's a lot to learn about, especially when it comes to our karmic accounts. How do we pay for them? Which category of Sikha do we belong to? And how do we connect to the formless Paramatma through Sargun and through Nam? So Puna Chukan Dikhima, WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh.